I woke up this morning fresh from a dream world where every video game I played was exactly what was promised to me and all of it was available on release. With a renewed optimism, I opened up the Redfall website to check on the status of my promised DLC that I spent $100 on, only to find out that... No. Wait. Wait. It was canceled. And I still had no idea what I was getting instead. Why did I purchase this before release? Angry as heck and ready to let the world know, I reached for my phone to open Twitter and saw that Ubisoft was trending again. So I went and checked out why. And would you look at this? Another opportunity for me to waste my hard-earned money on something that will most likely not be what I expect or what I'm told it will be. Now, while this is some low-hanging fruit, I think it shows that there's a lot of hate being aimed at people that really don't deserve it. Like most things in life, decisions are made by the top 1%, and it just confirmed my belief that this is all our fault. Almost every pre-order bonus, every physical item, every day one extra mission, every experience boost, and whatever other nonsense they're throwing in these pre-orders will be available on or before day one, so why in the world are we being charged extra for it? And more importantly, why are we rushing to pay extra for it? Shouldn't it be just for us? Shouldn't it be a gift for the gamers who are buying your game that is more than likely unfinished and buggy anyway? Now, when I say this is our fault, I literally mean all of us gamers or all the people that we manipulate to buy the games for us from these decision-making bodies. And I'm going to go out on a limb that's extremely strong and sturdy, and say that I do not believe in pre-ordering at all. I'm even extremely torn on early access games. I mean, on one hand, you do get award-winning games that absolutely need more time to cook, but also need more money that eventually release, a la the Baldur's Gate 3s of the world. And then you get games that live in the early access purgatory, even if they seem like they're finished. And the only game that I can think of that I played that's like this is 7 Days to Die, and that game seems like it's never going to actually officially release. But I will say, in these games' defense, you do usually pay a smaller amount for these games, and most times you can offer meaningful feedback to a smaller developer. But this is definitely not the case for these multiple hundreds of dollars pre-orders from the Blizzards or the EAs or the Ubisofts of the world. And because we keep paying for them, they keep releasing them, and they'll keep releasing them. And this ends up becoming a much larger problem for two reasons. One is the amount of money that's spent on the game itself, plus marketing, plus paying influencers to play the game. And then two, the amount of influence that the people that we watch or the reviews that we read or watch have on us. To that first point, I would argue that the amount of money spent on marketing or advertising of these games today is already much too high. We could get 2 or 3 new games from these companies, which could save hundreds of jobs if the marketing was controlled. Although, I do see how Microsoft isn't even advertising their new releases, and I guess I would have a hard time deciding what a good amount to advertise on a game would be. But this advertising is also not limited to the commercials or ads or trailers. Most of these games will be promoted through our favorite streamers or reviewers on Twitch or YouTube or, wherever else you weirdos watch influencers. And this leads into what I feel is the most harmful aspect of pre-orders or buying on release, and that's the opinions of those we respect. I also just want to be very clear here that I do not hold anything against influencers who are paid for their opinions, no matter how off their takes can be. However, there is no denying that if I am a member of a community, no matter how large or small, if a percentage of that community is playing a game, then I will most likely want to play that game too. And I think it's great, especially for indie developers. I mean, look at the explosions of the Slendermans, all the way to the Hollow Knights, to the Fall Guys, to the Among Us. They're everywhere. Single-player games, to multiplayer games, to community games, comedy to horror, it doesn't matter. If someone I likes it, then I'm probably going to like it as well. And if they hate it and they're going to struggle through it, then I'm going to struggle through it too, and we can all hate it together. The worst part about this is that I feel that video games are the most expensive example of something like this happening, and it's also one of the most manipulative and farmed industries out there. I mean, as an example, let's compare it to something on a smaller scale. Let's just say a new barbershop opened up in town. The barbershop is beautiful on the outside, and they've let a select few individuals in to look at the equipment and get a sample haircut. But those people only say great things about it, and they really only show you one side profile of the haircut, and you're not allowed to touch it, you're not allowed to look at it otherwise. The shop says that it's going to open on Monday, but only for people who've already paid in full for their haircuts and tipped for it. They also claim that the air conditioning is going to be on and working, and there's going to be mirrors where you'll be able to look at yourself and check out your new haircut. And of course, all of this is going to be available on Friday when they open to everyone else. But I mean, come on, who's really going to want to wait a whole week to get a haircut? So you pay, you go early, all the money's already spent, and you walk in and realize that this shop kind of looks exactly like the one down the street. And you even recognize a couple of barbers from the shop down the street. And you sit down, and while the haircut mirror is definitely there, it's smaller than your phone screen. And the air conditioning's blasting, and it's way too cold in there. And alright, I think you're getting my point. But then you receive the haircut itself, and it's terrible. It's not what you asked for, and it looks horrible. Or maybe that's just you. But you go up to the employee in the front, and they tell you that they never said that it was going to look good right away. But if you come back in a few months, you can still buy a better looking haircut. How stupid is that? Alright, so I'm going to tell the truth. I lied a little bit. I can proudly say that I have almost never bought a game on pre-release, or even on release day for that matter. I did buy Minecraft in its alpha, and I do have 1 or 2 stories about waiting online at 11 o'clock outside of GameStop. However, I typically wait for games to be out for about a month, or in most cases until they've gone on their first sale. I'm stating this because I am genuinely curious as to why there's this incessant desire to buy games as soon as they come out. If a game is strictly multiplayer and all of your friends, or maybe just that one friend, is willing to stay up until midnight with you, play it with you, and then call out the next day, I'm not going to say that that's the best decision that you could be making, but I'll give you a pass on that one, especially if it's a multiplayer game that you know is going to be good right from the get-go. However, I do want to bring up a single-player game that I bought at full price, and I want to preface it by saying that I fully bought into the hype of this game. I waited until not only the game had full reviews for all systems, but it also had received a patch, and that game was Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Now, buying into the hype for me didn't mean spoiling my experience by watching someone else play the game that I knew I wanted to play, and it didn't mean ignoring all the very public and very justified criticisms and shortcomings of the game. I read about how poor the game ran on previous generations, so, with my money firmly in my hand, I waited. I listened to CD Projekt Red and their plans to patch, update, and fix the game, and how they weren't happy with the release, and I am beyond confident that they would have delayed it further if they could. And so I sat with my money and I awaited a patch. And when I read that the game was stable and only had a few minor performances and the occasional glitch or crash on PS5, I pounced. And by pounce, I mean that I calmly drove to my local GameStop. I purchased a PS4 copy of the game because not only was it cheaper, but it had also received a free PS5 upgrade anyway. I calmly put together my lunch as the game updated in the background, and then I went on to enjoy one of the greatest RPG experiences and the greatest futuristic cyberpunk themed narrative in gaming. I could quite literally go on for tens of minutes about how great the main story of this game is, from its down and depressing opening hours to its, well, down and depressing closing minutes. And there was so much more than that too. There were side quests, there were updates, there were DLCs, some of which were free, merch, anime, lore videos, and just so much more. And while this is wholly just my opinion, the whole first month of terrible news coverage, refunds, anger, and hate, and what must have felt like wasted time and energy did not ruin one moment of this game for me. If anything, it's kind of served as a means to ensure that I enjoyed this game to the point that it justified its full price tag. Now, while this may seem like a hand-selected tale of a game that was destined to succeed regardless of how I felt about it, I just want to point out that I completed nearly 30 games last year that ranged from deck builders to first-person shooters to RPGs to ARPGs to JRPGs, and not a one was released within the last 6 months, and I didn't pay full price for any of them. Yet they were still available to me in the most completed state, and I enjoyed all of them. The point I'm trying to make with this video is that gaming is not something that needs to be enjoyed quickly or immediately. It can be wined and dined a bit. Just because it's there doesn't mean you need to buy it. Just because PewDiePie is playing it doesn't mean that you need to, or that you even need to watch him play it if you know that you want to play it. And this is where we can help take some of the blame off of ourselves. I looked up a quote for this video and I stumbled upon a perfect one by Shane Parrish, who I have absolutely no idea who this person is. But the quote was, "Your expectations won't change the results, but your standards will." So when we wait for games to be complete and only accept a haircut that is complete and looks good on us, then they will be released completed. If we hold gaming publishers to a standard with our wallets, they will have no choice but to appease us. And the best part, while we wait, there's going to be an infinite number of games waiting for us. Alright, sorry if it got a little preachy there in the end. I was actually going to go for like another 8 minutes, but there was a lot of whining and complaining, so I cut it all down. But I want to say thank you for watching. If you liked it, please leave a like. And if you agree with anything I said or disagree, please feel free to leave it in the comments and we can have a discussion down there. This is my first commentary video and I'm still working on my editing, so if you have any suggestions or want to leave any feedback, that would also be greatly appreciated. And more importantly, I want to say I appreciate you more than anything for watching. I want you to be safe, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm going to go check on my Silk Song pre-order real quick. Be right back.